Hi everyone! So today I thought I would do a funnel drag on these, well, on one of these long canvas, my last one. The other ones I did swipes and I had quite a bit of fun doing that. But today I think funnel drag on this long canvas would look really cool, and I think it's the perfect canvas for that. It's on the it's a long canvas, and I think that if I do one half black, one half white, and then drag across the separation line, it will look really nice. And so that's what I'm going to do today. For my paints, I use two heavy body paints here. Sennelier. One is Mars Black, which is a heavy density black. The pigment in it is iron oxide, and it's a dense pigment. And so I think it's going to look nicely and maybe help create some effects, since with the funnel, what I'm doing is putting the paint under the base coat. And the other color I have is titanium white, which is also a dense pigment and will do the same than the black. So as I drag the funnel under the base coat of paint, the colors will escape and try to sell up, because I'm using light density paints, and since they're lighter, they will want to float, and the heavier color will want to sink. So as I drag the funnel and put the paints under, the light density paint will want to float up in a cell-like pattern. Yeah, I mixed some fluorescent paints, 2 high flow acrylics. So those I mixed 1 part high flow acrylic to 10 part medium with like 5% water, just a little bit, just to say. Hi cats! And I have a fluid acrylic, Dyarilide yellow, which is a very light pigment, because it's an organic pigment, and organic pigments tend to have a much lighter density than, say, inorganic pigments that are made from metals or rocks or kind of earths, dirt, all kinds of stuff. And those tend to be denser than the organic pigments that are made in laboratory and such. And yeah, I have one other, well, this is Liquitex Basic. They say it's a heavy body acrylic, but I think it's more like medium heavy. And this one I mixed like 40% paint, 60% medium, and 20% water. And the fluid acrylic, I added 15% water. I use distilled water because here the water is somewhat hard, so there's a bunch of mineral in it, and I'm not sure what kind of mineral, and I don't want that to interact with the paint or alter it later. At my old place, I had very soft water, and it didn't smell at all like chlorine or anything, so I used that. But I guess it really depends on your tap water, but I really prefer using distilled water here. I also do not use silicone, and the reason for that is I really prefer to work with the densities of the paint. I feel like the paintings look more natural. I'm not sure how to explain that. The other reason is because we don't know how silicone will hold up in time. Because silicone oil or dimethicone oil or any of those are non-drying oils. That's why they are such great lubricants, because they never dry. So if any silicone is left in the paint, or maybe if it remains trapped in between 2 coats of paint, we don't know how that will hold up in time. Maybe it will make some part of the painting peel off, maybe, we don't know. And I mean, You can use it if you want. Maybe the painting will hold. Maybe there will be no problems at all. But I'd rather not. And to be honest, the densities have been working great for me. I've been getting cells without any problems. And yeah, I also use GAC 800 as a medium. I know a lot of people use Fluorescent, which is neutral and should not yellow because it's used by professional painters. But once again, it's not made for that, and I haven't done any research on what is the composition of Fluorescent. All I know is GC800 is an acrylic polymer emulsion, so it's made really for acrylics, and I know it will hold up in time. I know the quality is great, and if I sell my paintings, I want them to last as long as the client wants it to last. So yeah, that's the other reason I don't use silicone, and the reason why I use artist grade materials. I use good quality paints too, and one thing I noticed is with good quality paints like Golden or Liquitex artist grade, they're heavily pigmented, so you really don't need that much paint to get the colors, and they will dry so bright and so nice. And also the JC800 dries super glossy, and I love it. I love it. So why should I change? I mean, other thing, water. Meow. Water. Do not put more than 30% water in your paint because that will space out the acrylic polymers too much, prevent them from adhering properly to the canvas, and over time it may cause the peeling and cracking of your painting. I know other people use glue as medium. I mean, that's great to learn because it's cheap, but glue is not made with acrylic polymers and binders and such, and glue will dry and become brittle over time. And I mean, since it's mixed with paint, that may slow that down, but glue isn't made to be mixed with acrylics. It isn't made to be exposed on the wall and left to dry for years, and all the moisture in it will evaporate and the glue will become brittle and probably crack over time. And also, it will yellow. Some glues are archable, but then again, not made to be mixed with acrylic. It's great to learn though, because it has the potential to be a great medium mixed with a little bit of water. It has the same consistency than GAC or that kind of other mediums. And yeah, and why am I talking about that? I've read an interesting post on a Facebook group talking about that, and I thought it was super interesting because there's a lot of misconception in acrylic pouring. A lot of people use different materials. That's fine. I'm all about it. I've read some people using olive oil or coconut oil or other food grade oil. Those will rot in your paint or rot in the canvas, making the canvas rot, and that's not good. So if you use any oil, make sure it's silicone oil. At least that's not as bad. I see a lot of people using hair serum too, because it has dimethicone in it, but there's so many other ingredients in it that we don't know how will affect the paint long term. So personally, I like to stay away from those. Just let the density work for me. But it may be great to learn how to make cells and such, but I think the best way really is to learn about paint. What is paint? What kind of pigments are used in your paints? And use those pigments to your advantage, because not all pigments weigh the same, not all pigments are the same. And yeah, that can really work for you, and you can let the paint work for you. You don't have to use a lot of additive. Like I've always used only paint, water, and GC 800, and I can get so many different effects from just that, yeah. So anyway, sorry about the long talk. Let's get to it. I will zoom you in and get started with this. Alright, so let's get started with that. So what I want to do is pour like black on one of my half. And then clean spatula, well, clean as much as I can get it clean. Alright, so that's done. I will use my hair dryer on low and low heat to pop the bubbles. Also, I ran out of gloves. Need to go buy some tomorrow. I really felt like painting, so I'm painting, but if you paint a lot and you're in contact a lot with paint, I suggest very, very strongly to protect yourself, because paint is a chemical. Most pigments are chemicals, or some are even heavy metals like cadmium. Most paint manufacturers are trying to get away from cadmium because it's kind of damaging for the environment. But imagine if it's damaging for the environment, how can it damage you? There we go. And also, I didn't want to seem too critical or anything in my talk. I just want to get the info out there, what I know. And yeah, to me, if you paint and you have fun, there you go. That's the most important thing. But also, if you plan on selling, then it's okay to have fun and all, but can also need to take things kind of seriously a little bit. So my funnel is on the corner there. Can't really see it because my camera is fully zoomed out, but putting Acrylic yellow first, then my fluorescent colors. I have fluorescent yellow, fluorescent green. It's kind of leaking. I have to hurry up. Dyarilide yellow. And now I will just drag that across. Now I'm just going to dab a little bit here to help the paint cover the canvas where there's no paint. It will help the paint flow and just cover it, and meanwhile, I'll give you a time lapse so you can see the effects happen as they happen. Alright, so I like this, I really do. I really think the yellow contrasts really well with the black, and the black side contrasts really well with the white. And I felt like it didn't have enough motion, enough movement as is with just the drag. So I added some with the straw, and I'm really happy I did. At first I wasn't sure. I felt like I could ruin it, and I wasn't too comfortable. But I added the motion with the straw, and I'm super happy I did. I love how the straw also blew a little bit of black more into the white. And also one thing I noticed, this corner here is lower than the rest. My canvas is warped once again. But I think it will just add more movement. The paint will flow that way, and we'll see how it dries. It's light, it's very not much, but just enough for the paint to, because fruit paints, you know. It's just enough for the paint to go and slide off a little bit on that side. I did add a lot of bubbles in my painting as I blew with the straw, so I had a little bit of work to do. The hairdryer took care of a lot, but I popped the bigger ones with the needle. The other thing I really like about GAC 800 is as it dries, it usually doesn't keep bubbles. The bubbles will pop. The only thing is, if the bubbles are too big and they pop as the paint dries, well, it leaves a little blank canvas spot, and I want to avoid that, so that's why I pop the bigger bubbles. The smaller ones will just pop by themselves, usually. And also, yeah, love these made with the straw and this side. The movement, it's going. Cells too. Cells in the black. Cells in the white. Like, those two are really close in density, so I did not expect them to cell up like that. But my guess is really when you stack two paints on top of each other, they will want to sync or float together, so it will create cells. Subtle cells in the yellow here. I had a leak when I poured my paints in the funnel, so a lot of it escaped on that side. And as I finished on that side, a lot of leak too happened, but I will have some crazy nice skins for pendants. The color mixed really well together, and even I can't wait to see how all of this will dry. I think it will look really, really cool, and yeah, I love it. It's going to dry a little bit more transparent too, so I'm a bit afraid because pretty much all the colors I've used are transparent, except the two base colors. We'll see. I can't wait to see, because it's going to be a good experiment too, to see how transparent paint look while on black paint, and how they look while on white paint. It's going to be a good way to know, a good way to see, and I also think that it's going to make the artwork quite interesting, because the colors aren't going to be looking the same everywhere. It's going to be darker on the black side, it's going to be darker if there's black paint under, it's going to be lighter if there's white paint under. So it's going to be quite interesting, I think, as it dries. So yeah, I'm a happy painter. And we're back, and as I said, I'm a happy painter, and as I also said, I really didn't want to seem too critical in the talk at the first. I'm sorry for the long video. I realized that this one is gonna be a lot longer, but I really wanted to get the info out there. I didn't quite know how to put it, so I didn't seem too critical of it. But yeah, just wanted to put the info out there, and well, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always happy to read the comments. I'm always happy to know your opinions, your feedback. Let me know what you think. And yeah, so if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!